हे एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल फीलियर जितेश। मैं आज आप लोगों के लिए पॉलिटी के लेक्चर्स बहुत ही एक फेमस कोचिंग के अपलोड कर रहा हूँ। प्लीज़ कोई स्ट्राइक कोई कंप्लेन मत कीजिएगा, ये सिर्फ उन लोगों के लिए हैं जो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते हैं। मैं पहले ही माफ़ी मांग रहा हूँ, बाद में आप लोग ये मत कहिएगा कि आप चोरी कर रहे हो, ऐसा कर रहे हो, वैसा करो। देखिए, मेरे को भी कहीं से मिले तो मुझे लगा कि उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए डाल दिए जाएँ, जो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते। मैं भी उनमें से ही हूँ एक। मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप लोग इसका भरपूर इस्तेमाल करें, अच्छे से पढ़ें। दीज आर दी बेस्ट लेक्चर्स एंड मैं भी इससे पढ़ रहा हूँ, आप लोग भी इससे पढ़ो। एंड कोशिश करूँगा जल्द से जल्द सारे लेक्चर्स डाल दूँ। तो प्लीज़ अच्छे से पढ़िए। अब सही समय है सही से तैयारी करने का, तो अच्छे से तैयारी करिए। चलिए, आई होप यू विल लव दी लेक्चर्स। प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब माई चैनल।
Very important word. No matter how less you have studied, but if you are confident enough, you can conquer this examination. And if you have BB with you, nobody can defeat you. BB मतलब BB नहीं, BB. BB मतलब वाइफ नहीं यार, बजरंगबली. ओके, ये साथ है तो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं है. Along with confidence, this is the game of confidence. You study more, you feel less confident. It can be a problem. You study less, feel more confident. At least it is better than the first case. ठीक है ना? Always be confident, but then I do not say that do not study. Study hard, but then take this along with you. This Bajrangbali along with confidence. पता चला कुछ नहीं पढ़ के गए थे. A, B, C, D, 100 questions. You knew. कितने पता थे आपको? Only one. But then the remaining 99 are also to be answered or not? क्या करेंगे सर? हाँ, it is introduction, तो it is nature. Hit the core first. Two. It gives the basic value. बहुत बढ़िया. But देखो बात चल रही है बड़ी critical. Should not we remove the preamble? Now when something which is we are discussing is very critical, you should give very critical answer first. What you all are saying is true. But then hit the core first. Examiner को लगना चाहिए that this fellow has in-depth knowledge. He is right. Did I not give you an example? Sundar Sushil पढ़ी लिखी, where I said पढ़ी लिखी तो बोल दिया, but then it is not matching. Preamble can also be used to remove an ambiguity also in the constitution. Did I not give you the example? कल मैंने example दिया नहीं सर आपको? Which example did I give to tell you that preamble can be used to remove ambiguity if there exists between two articles of the constitution or two provisions of the constitution, which are एक सेकेंड. हाँ, एक जन. Yes. On one side we say we will not discriminate against anyone on the grounds of caste, religion, race, place of birth, etc. But on other side we are giving special privilege to particular caste. It seems contradictory. ऐसा लगता है ना contradictory है, but ऐसा है नहीं. Because the purpose is not to discriminate. The purpose of giving extra benefit to these minorities or backward communities is to give them social justice, which is mentioned in the preamble. If there are two provisions in the constitution and they somehow appear to be, let me tell you, they appear, they may not be actually, but you might feel them that they are antagonistic to each other. If that is the case, then the judge or the court might refer to the preamble and see that the spirit of preamble actually somehow aligns the basic purpose of these two articles and they are not antagonistic actually. When we give reservation, we are not becoming discriminative against any community in real sense. हाँ जी सर, बोलो.
We are given some privileges to some officers also. So it is not a violation of premium.
No way, sir. Because unless you give them privilege, you cannot carry on the administration. Moreover, there is always a asterisk mark. If I give you some privilege that I cannot initiate an inquiry against him without getting permission from his super senior, भाई ये chain of hierarchy में, he's a senior civil servant. Okay, somehow CBI got information that he is corrupt, but CBI cannot start an inquiry against him unless CBI gets permission from the minister himself. Is he not getting privilege? but then that privilege is not for his own benefit. That privilege is so that tomorrow CBI or any other agency cannot hound him or stop him from doing his sincere duty by giving him a threat that if you do this, we start inquiry against you. कुछ protection भी तो देनी पड़ेगी ना यार. So those privileges are to protect you. However, it is also mentioned that this privilege will come along with this rider. कि अगर we get a material substance against you, that tomorrow we can initiate an inquiry against you even without the permission of your boss. इस case में, for example, he might get some leniency regarding civil cases, but then if he commits a crime against a woman, then no way he will get the benefit of this privilege. He is a senior civil servant, he might get some protection regarding, let's say, CBI cannot start a case against him in corruption. But then if there is a charge of molestation against him, then CBI may not even wait for the permission. He might get arrested. Privileges to hai, but there are limitations on the privilege also. Okay, sir? Hanji, preamble. Likho, heading, purpose of preamble. Purpose of preamble. I put you a question. The source of all the powers in preamble, sir, is what? No. Preamble itself is a part of constitution, not. The source of all the powers in the constitution, let's keep it that way. Source of all the powers in the constitution is what? People. ठीक है. I agree with you that source of all the powers in the constitution is the people of India. ये लोग ही हैं जिन्होंने constitution को power दी है. But from where did you come to know about this, Lakshmikant? Then constitution नहीं, preamble. देखो, preamble starts with this word we, the people of India, solemnly resolve to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. आप ही ने तो बनाया. Agreed or not? And from where did you come to know about this, sir? Preamble. Preamble clearly says we. Write down. First, purpose है ये preamble का. And this is a humble request. When you are writing, every word is to be read. This suffices the purpose of telling you something in class. Okay, write down. Preamble declares that the source of powers of the constitution is the people themselves. And the constitution, very beautiful line, and the constitution arises, from very good, from people only, लोगों से ही जन्मा है. That is preamble declares that dash, space छोड़ दो, dash is the ultimate sovereign in India. What should we fill in the dash? बहुत बढ़िया. Is constitution the ultimate sovereign in India? Ultimate word नहीं देखा आपने? People or public are the ultimate sovereign in India. Sovereign means most powerful. Nobody is more powerful within India than people of India. And now he said constitution, he is also right. But why he is wrong? Why should not be constitution filled here and people? Because ultimately constitution has also come out from people only. है कि नहीं sir? Who is more valuable, a mango or a mango tree? Mango tree. एक mango चला भी गया तो दूसरा tree से तो आएगा. Ultimate source of power in country is people. Nobody is as powerful in India than the people of this country. Not even constitution. Because ultimately constitution has also come out from people only. Getting me or not, sir? Write down. In Keher Singh case, Keher, Hindi word, disaster. In Keher Singh, in Keher Singh versus Union of India case 1989, if you do not remember the year, no problem. Just write Keher Singh case. In Keher Singh versus Union of India case 1989, the statement was challenged. इस statement को challenge कर दिया किसी ने. The statement was challenged that, the statement got challenged that constitution derives. Keep reading what you're writing. Was challenged that constitution derives its powers from people directly. From people directly. Now somebody who challenged was also very logical, because if you see practically, pragmatically, did we write the constitution? No. How can you say that constitution takes its power from people directly? हाँ यार वो तो बात सही है. अब देखो, two friends are there, only one apple is there, both are hungry. He and me, good friends, one apple, both are very hungry. I ask him, यार will you have this apple? He will say नहीं नहीं, तू खा ले, तूने खाया मैंने खाया एक ही बात है. Is it true? ऐसा होगा क्या? नहीं, झूठ है ये तो. Is it true, sir? Even if I ate, he will get satiated. Now this is not true. Practically this is not true. I mean, similar logic was applied by somebody in this case. He said people did not write the constitution. So how can you say that people empowered the constitution, or constitution derives from the people, constitution derives power from the people itself? ये तो गलत है. But then Supreme Court is also very creative. Supreme Court gave a very good reply. Supreme Court ने एक बहुत अच्छा reply दिया. Supreme Court said, भाई, is there anybody who can challenge the statement that our parents are God for us? कोई challenge नहीं करेगा इसको. In fact, we assume, even if we know that if at all there is God, he might be different from parents, ये तो हम सबको पता है, but then still we consider them like God or not. It's a kind of assumption which we have accepted to accept. We know that this may not be true or this is not true, but still we believe on that statement. It has a special sanctity. Similarly, Supreme Court said that constitution derives its power from people. May not be practically true, but then it is a legal fiction. एक fiction तो है, which is to be believed. इस fiction को accept करना ही पड़ेगा, and nobody can challenge this concept in any court of law. खत्म कहानी. Understood this or not? Supreme Court ने बात बोली that we know that people did not make the constitution, but it is a kind of fiction. You have to accept and live with, because that, what is the purpose of making this particular statement a legal fiction? कुछ purpose है इसका? बोलो.
Nobody challenges it again.
Who?
Any other people of any other person in the court of law.
Challenges what?
That sanctity of the constitution.
I can give the answer within 2 seconds, but I want you to think over it. Supreme Court said that this statement is a fiction, but believe it. Why was this stance taken by Supreme Court? Supreme Court क्यों चाहता है कि आप on one hand you believe that it is a fiction, it is not true, but on the other hand you are compelled to believe on it. What is the basic larger reasoning of Supreme Court? He is right. बहुत बढ़िया sir, excellent. See, is not Supreme Court actually upholding the position of people of this country? जब मैं आपको ये बात बोलता हूं, believe that your parents are your God, am I not actually upholding the position of your parents in your eyes? जबरदस्ती आपको ये बात मनवाई जा रही है, because the larger purpose is so that people of this country, they are given importance that everyone should get in a democratic setup. Otherwise, if you see Iraq, are people given that importance? No. North Korea, are people given importance? No. It is the king who is given importance. But in India, Supreme Court wanted people to be given ultimate importance, and so somehow Supreme Court said that you please believe in the fact or in a fiction that Constitution is deriving its power from the people. Even if you know that this is not true, practically believe it, because only if you believe in this thing, you will give appreciation to the position of people, common man in this country, otherwise he will have no value. By jisne, the person or entity who has written or who has created the ultimate law of this country, should he not be given the sacrosanct position? वो तो होगा ही होगा. But the day you start challenging this fact that the supreme law of this country was not written by people of this country, then you actually are eroding the faith of the whole world in the people of this country. Understood or not? Write down. हाँ जी सर. कानून में भी एक fiction ही है. Legally also it's kind of a fiction only, and in legal terms also we consider it fiction, but then it is to be believed. Something which is legal, is it fiction? No, na. But then even in terms of legality, this is a fiction which is to be believed. कानून की नजरों में भी एक fiction ही है, मगर इसको believe करना पड़ेगा आपको. बिल्कुल सही बात है सर. But then tell me, was Constitution actually written by discussing things with you? तो ये तो assumption हो गया ना. That since यार एक बात बताओ सुनो, laws are made in the parliament. Do you always agree with those laws? No, na. Means actually somehow there is a chunk which is not making that law. It is only a belief. It's only a kind of assumption that we have taken that yes, they are our representatives, and when they are doing something, it is actually we who are doing that. ये चीज तो गलत ही है ना. But then we have to believe in this. Otherwise, no democracy can work with so much population. फिर तो स्विट्जरलैंड जाना पड़ेगा where everybody they come face to face and they take decisions. In India, this was not possible with the kind of literacy and population we had. We had to have a constituent assembly. And मजे की बात ये है that even that constituent assembly was not directly elected by people of this country. Had that constituent assembly would have been elected by people of this country directly, कोई elections थोड़ी ना हुए थे. They were indirectly elected, right? Then you could have said so कि भाई ठीक है, people of this country made this constitution because constituent assembly was elected by people only. But then constituent assembly was not even elected by people. So how can you say that constitution was made by people of this country? ये तो गलत है ना. But when you went to Supreme Court with this assumption, Supreme Court snubbed and said, see, we know that it's a fiction, but even in legal fraternity, it is to be believed. And across India and the world, we will make people believe that constitution was made by people only. Got the point? Right now. In Kehar Singh versus Union of India case 1989, the statement was challenged that constitution derives its power from people directly. However, court said that this statement is a legal fiction, and a conclusive assumption मतलब conclusion है. There is no scope of argument now. And a conclusive assumption which cannot be challenged and tested. Which cannot be challenged and tested. Where? In any court of law. कहीं पे भी challenge नहीं कर सकते आप इस idea को. First purpose of constitution. Second purpose, sir, what are we doing right now? Purpose is of preamble. First purpose was that. पहला purpose क्या था? Preamble is telling that the source of constitution is people directly. Second purpose, write down, sir. Preamble contains the ideals and aspirations of people of this country. How many ideals are there? Anyone? I'll explain, but then if you know. 3, 4, 5, 2. एक चूज करो. Is it visible, the word republic? Last row. 5 idols. ठीक है सर? And aspirations, how many? What? What is the meaning of ideal here? When I say that these are the ideals of people of this country, what am I referring to? Yes. You will look up to as guiding principle, means your vision for India. Bhai, you are living in India. Are you not having a vision that this should be India? This should be the country of my dream. This should be India of my dream. This is the India of your dream. You aspire that wherever you live, these things should prevail and your state should be like this. Sir, car खरीदी ना आपने? You must have got some ideals or not? क्या थे ideal आपके when you bought car? नहीं, mileage वाले नहीं. He's a young boy. He must have got pickup. जैसी लगनी चाहिए, है कि नहीं? Stylish. So that your aspirations of style statement is met or not. The vision is called as ideal. Means what is your imagination about your country? वो ideal है. Because if, be very alert now, because if only you get an India having this, then only your aspirations, you know what is aspiration? Hindi, akanksha. Then only your akanksha will be met. Understood or not? If you have something missing here, you will aspire for these things but you will not get. भाई एक बात बताओ, for example you are from minority religion, आप वहां से हो, and this is missing in India, secularism तो है ही नहीं, will your aspiration of justice be met? आपके साथ discrimination नहीं होगा. So if as an Indian you want these things to be achieved, what is the meaning of aspiration? What you desire for yourself is your aspiration or not? You aspire for this, but to achieve this, what do you need? Ideals means a country or a state following these principles. If your state is not having these features, agar ye feature hi missing hai, your aspirations will not be met. Now what is the meaning of these things? I'll tell you right now. Ideals and aspirations of people of India. Five ideals mentioned in preamble. Likho sir. 5 ideals mentioned in preamble. Sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy, republic. Four aspirations. I'll explain that. Okay. Sovereignty. What is the literal meaning of sovereignty? बोलो. मतलब क्या sovereignty वर्ड का? Supreme power. If you are the most powerful entity in a particular area, then you are sovereign. अगर आपसे बढ़कर कोई ताकत नहीं है, तो आप sovereign हो. Got sir? Now, we wanted that the free India, the state of free India, should be sovereign. It should decide for itself what to do, what not to do. वो खुद decide करे. Nobody should force India to do so. As we were being forced during British era. अब हम आजाद हैं. We'll bring development only when we want. Nobody can force us to develop. अपनी speed से लाएंगे development, sovereign. Now see, my question is India sovereign or not? सवाल ये है. भाई इंडिया sovereign कैसे है? See, are we not member of Commonwealth? Yes. And Commonwealth was, what is Commonwealth? Commonwealth countries is a collection of countries which were at some point of time ruled by Britishers. So was India. Now we continued to be part of Commonwealth. Don't you think that Commonwealth itself is a sign of subjugation of India to the British interest? No. Why not? How? Yes, हाँ बोलो. Exactly. This is also very much true that this is the feature. We voluntarily became part of Commonwealth. Nobody forced us. 1949, we became part of Commonwealth. Now nobody forced us. किसी ने धक्का नहीं दिया. It was our own decision. Second thing, as she said very correctly, when we are part of Commonwealth, Commonwealth will take a decision. कोई भी decision लिया उन्होंने. That decision is not binding on India or any other country of Commonwealth. When there is no foundation on us that you have become member of Commonwealth, you have to be following this, then we are free. We are not being dictated by Commonwealth. This is the sign that India is still sovereign in spite of being member of Commonwealth. Got the point? I don't know how they will ask you the question. In pre or in mains, they can put this idea and ask you to justify that India is this. Because some time back, this question was raised. Why India is a member of Commonwealth still? Okay, पहली बात तो ये. I crave an idea that India is not sovereign, then I justified that India is actually sovereign, even if it appears that it is not sovereign because of Commonwealth. ये बात खत्म. Another question. Is there any other ground by which you can challenge the sovereignty of India? क्या आप बोल सकते हो कि इंडिया फ्री है ही नहीं? Any other reason? United Nation Organization, UNO. Now he said, since India is a member of United Nations, we are not free. कैसे sir? You are right. He is right to some extent, but then tell me how. ये भी बोलो. Take any or be very take any agreement or take any organization of international level to which India is a party, then is it not true that to some extent India has to abide by some laws? भाई अगर आप किसी जगह के member बने, you have to have some laws and you have to abide, otherwise you will not be member anymore. है कि नहीं? Now when we have become member of United Nations, are we not forced sometimes to follow the mandate of United Nations? No. Example. Russia attacked Ukraine. ये पता है ना आपको क्रीमिया एपिसोड? You know Ukraine or not? Russia attacked Ukraine and took away a part of it called as Crimea. Now after this, America wanted a resolution to be passed putting sanction on Russia in United Nations. Did India support it? No. हमने बोला no. Russia is a old-time friend of India and we will not support this. Means even if we are member of United Nations, whatever we are doing at United Nations cannot go against our interest. And nobody can force us, you have to follow this. If peacekeeping force is to be sent in some place, it is up to us whether should we commit our forces or not. Nobody can force us, not even America. So even if we are part of United Nations, we are free. But ये उनका व्यू है कि भाई इस इंडिया तो is part of United Nations, so under the pressure of America, now India has to accept whatever is happening in United Nations. ऐसा नहीं भी है. For example, ऐसा है भी. Are you getting me or not? This is a debate. In debate, things are grey. This is also true, that is also true. But then you have to write something which is more true. Understood or not? एक एग्जाम्पल और लो. I hope you have little bit knowledge of economics or what is happening in WTO. WTO full form? World Trade Organization. Is India a member of WTO? Yes. Is Russia a member of WTO? Yes. बहुत time बाद बना but बना. Anyways, India is a member of WTO, World Trade Organization. It's a body that regulates the international trading among the members. Now, since India has become member of WTO, India is getting some benefits. For example, all of you are member of WTO. I also became member of WTO. So when I became member, I can trade freely with all of you and I can get the benefits or not. However, being the member of WTO somehow compromises. ये वो लोग कह रहे हैं. The school which says that no country is truly sovereign today. There is a school of thought. Some people say that today no country, including India or America, is truly sovereign because every country is part of some international organization which forces that country to decide in a particular manner even if that country does not want to take the decision. WTO का केस लो. India is member of WTO. WTO forced India to bring changes in its patent law. For the people who do not know the detail of it, no problem, but I am sure everybody knows what is patent. We made the patent norm difficult in India because we became member of WTO. We were making generic medicines, सस्ती दवाइयां बना रहे थे हम लोग. Under number of WTO regulations, we abandoned the practice. Only in emergency now we can make those medicines or can import from some other country at a very cheap price. Only emergency में, because we are member of WTO. America or WTO is forcing India that we give subsidy to the farmers. You know what is the meaning of subsidy? Subsidy matlab support. We give some support to the farmers. Now WTO is saying that because you give support to your financial support to your farmers, the product which they grow becomes cheap, and that cheap product when it comes to market, वो पूरी market का rate गिरा देते हैं. And our farmers who are selling the same product at a higher price, they suffer. They are not able to sell. भाई जिसका सामान सस्ता होगा वो तो बिकेगा. So WTO is asking India that you reduce the subsidy also, and number of other compromises which India is as of now reluctant. But pressure तो आ रहा है. And India has agreed upon many different areas, जैसे कि patent law. So this is the idea given by that school of thought that India is sovereign, agreed, that is written in preamble, but in true sense, in practical sense, no country is truly sovereign. No country can actually take all the decisions. No country can actually take all the decisions according to its own wishes. Somehow you will be forced by some other entity, yeah, do this, not that. कभी आपने रेड पैंट एंड रेड शर्ट पहनी सर, विद रेड शूज, रेड कैप, बहुत बढ़िया लगती है. Once I tried, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. But then would you ever wear that in a public gathering? No. You want to do that, but you are forced not to do because of public pressure. मतलब sovereign तो नहीं है ना हम लोग. Same is this case. The country wants to do that particular thing, but it is not allowed to do that, and since it is part of some organization whose rules apply on the country. But ये school of thought क्या बोलेगा? The school of thought which justifies that India is truly sovereign. देखो एक school of thought है. One group says India or America or any country is not sovereign in true sense, because you have to compromise on some decisions which you would not have taken otherwise. आप ये काम नहीं करते अगर आप इसके मेंबर नहीं होते तो. I give you an example. NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group, it's a group of nations who are actually leading in the nuclear material trade internationally. Is India part of NSG? India nahi hai part. But is India aspiring to become part of NSG? Yes. Because the day we become member of NSG, we will be able to freely bring the nuclear fuel and other equipment from other countries. Abhi hamare ko membership nahi hai. Is Italy part of NSG? Yes. And Italy was blocking or was standing in the way of India's entry in NSG. Italy bolta tha, we don't want India to become member of NSG. In NSG, even if one country says no to the entry of other countries, the entry will not be given. So Italy was standing, I mean China is also, but then I am taking case of Italy. Italy was saying that we don't want India to be member of NSG. You know what was the basic reason? Yes. We had captured 2 marines of the country Italy because they had killed the fishermen on the Kerala coast. उनको हमने पकड़ के यहाँ रखा हुआ था. Somehow Italy, through this organization, pressurized us. See, I am not saying that this is the real reason. और आप एग्जाम में भी ये मत लिखना, but I am just trying to make you understand the concept. Italy pressurized us. The day we released them, उनको छोड़ दिया हमने. Okay, you are free, you go back to your country. The day we released them, immediately Italy took away its objection. Means somehow cannot we conclude that India released them under the pressure of Italy? So where is sovereignty? Is not India's sovereignty compromised? Yes or no? No. No. Reason is, yes, we did not release the Marines because we were fearful of Italy or we wanted to respect the mandate of NSG. We released them so that we get membership of NSG, and that will serve a larger purpose to the national interest than capturing those 2 Marines. समझ रहे हो? We took the decision not because we were fearful or we got suppressed by NSG or Italy. We took the decision because our larger purpose was not to catch them. Our larger purpose was to bring a larger interest to the country, which can come if we become member of NSG. तो sovereignty वो compromise नहीं थी. आप ये बताओ, you are studying continuously, let's say for 15 days, 15 दिन लगातार class without a break, क्या होगा? ये भी कम हो जाएगा और physically also you will get tired. पढ़े जा रहे हैं. 15 दिन में I'll cover the course, agreed. But then this is it a right strategy? No. What will you do? Take a break, a small break of 1 day. Practically तो एक दिन का लेना चाहिए, but people take 4-5 days. हरिद्वार चले गए घूमने. No. After 15 days, you take a break of 1 day. Retreat ले लिया आपने. Because that 1 day break will actually regenerate you for the coming 15 days. वो जरूरी है. But it does not mean that you are becoming lax on your preparation. Getting me or not? भाई कभी-कभी कुछ जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है. This is the perfect case. India did not compromise on its sovereignty. India released the Marines so that it can get membership of NSG. तो ये compromise थोड़ी ना है. अरे सर complete तो करने दो. अब बोलो. Very good, sir. I am building a dam. Let me tell you one more thing. That was not an official announcement that we are releasing them because we want a membership of NSG. है ना? That's diplomacy. That was not explicitly made a reason. Okay. Now I ask you one thing. You said that was not the lives of those fishermen important. Agreed. That was important. Therefore, we did not allow them to leave for so many years also. है ना? But somehow, if two interests are clashing, are we not required to look for the larger interest? बोलो. We are required to. Justice तो सर देखो ऐसा है कि I am building dam, and when I am building dam, all of you will be displaced from your home in which you were living for the last 150 years. 150 साल से आप वहीं रह रहे थे, आप मतलब your family. Now, for the sake of dam, is it justified that you are displaced from your homeland? And moreover, there is no other alternative you have to earn a living. You were earning your living from that area only. Now you are displaced. Is it not injustice to you? एक बात बताओ. But then somehow some larger, harder decisions are to be taken because the purpose of dam will actually facilitate lakhs of people. So if I am going to give some benefit to lakhs of people, and in that case few suffer, then that can be justified that way. Ethics में पढ़ोगे सर आप ये चीज. Agree with this or not? Which example? डैम वाला. क्यों यार? हाँ. Parliament attack took place, India. Had we actually attacked Pakistan, what would have been the result? For Pakistan, of course, nuclear war, and Pakistan would have got vanished. और थोड़ा सा इंडिया को भी नुकसान होता. Sir, somehow when we are into governance, we have to see which interest is larger interest, and we have to look for the larger interest. I am not saying that it is justified that some fishermen should be killed. Therefore, it was not an official statement given by India that we are releasing them because of this. But then this is the cruelty of diplomacy, that in diplomacy, larger interests are to be served, and for that, smaller interests are sacrificed. And I am in no way condoning the act of those Marines. Understanding or not? What is right, what is wrong is a different thing. But then for examination, we have to read from the concept of polity only. Hanji. Yes, they went number of times. But then we were not releasing them initially. No, we said no, they have no right to go back and enjoy life there, and somehow they will complete the term that way. They are not here in India right now. They will not come. Hi, sir. हाँ वो किया ना, but then India could have stopped it. कर सकता था ना इंडिया उसको, but हमने, this is my argument, that India actually allowed, or it became lenient on this ground because the larger purpose was NSG. हाँ उसके कारण ये तो मिला नहीं, MTCR मिल गया. That's a different thing. But then my point, did you get the point or not? समझ में आया आपको ये बात चल क्या रही थी? We never compromised on sovereignty. Even if you think that it is a compromise on sovereignty, it is not so. Because the purpose is not to make somebody happy. अरे सुनो यार इधर. The purpose is not to make somebody happy. The purpose is to serve the interest, the larger interest of nation. Otherwise, had that been so, we were member of the United Nations. Why did not we make America happy? We said no. When you are voting against Russia, we will not vote against Russia. मना कर दिया हमने साफ साफ उनको. Sovereignty is served when you actually serve the interest of the country. Sovereignty is not served. What did Saddam Hussein do by maintaining his sovereignty of making ruins or bringing ruins to Iraq by fighting with America? Understood or not? One school of thought says India is compromising on its sovereignty because in today's world, when India, or for that matter any country, is part of various international organizations and treaties, these countries are forced to take decisions which they otherwise would not have taken. However, the other school of thought says that no, India is not compromising on its sovereignty because what India is doing even after becoming the member of these organizations is in the larger interest of the nation, even if it appears that we have made certain compromises, because those compromises are not to please any country or to remain the member of a particular organization per se. The larger interest of the country is the priority or is the basic reason behind taking these decisions. Understood this or not? Likho. Ideals of preamble. First, sovereignty. And the same thing will apply on International Court of Justice. Somebody actually asked this question online. If we have taken membership of International Court of Justice, then whatever decision is being taken, it may appear that it is not in our favor or it went in the favor of particular other country. But then see, you have become member of that particular organization so that in future you can also derive the benefit from it. How can you expect that everything should go in your favor? If the verdict is coming against you, there must be some reason. By South China Sea, China lost its fight in South China Sea. Was it injustice towards China? Or was it like losing sovereignty? No. When China lost the case over South China Sea, then in the international arbitration, then China did not lose its sovereignty. It was just a loss of case because on material grounds, China had no right to claim South China Sea. South China Sea, you know or not? Yes, right now. Sovereignty. It implies that country's government is totally independent. Please read every word. And does not acknowledge any other power and does not acknowledge any other power as supreme. हमसे बड़ा कोई नहीं है. As supreme with regard to governance of the country. Write this also. However, in the era of LPG, what is full form of LPG? However, in the era of LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization, as some people believe, कुछ लोग मानते हैं, as some people believe, no state including India can be considered what? Sovereignty, very good, fully sovereign. Cannot be considered fully, F-U-L-L, fully sovereign. Also membership of international organizations. Why did Britain pulled itself out from EU? By Britain क्यों निकला EU से बाहर? हाँ, वो भी था. Moreover, yes, भाई yes. Brexit. Britain exited from European Union. Now my question is, why did Britain exit? Reason being, Britain was the member of European Union. Now, European Union is a club where decisions are taken with consensus. So when a decision has been taken by European Union, it will apply on Britain also. So Britain was not feeling free to take the decision in the interest of its own people. When European Union says, we'll allow the immigrants to enter inside, it will enter inside Britain also. So Britain was feeling that my sovereignty or my freedom to take decisions is being compromised. So why should I remain in this organization where I am not free to take decisions in the larger interest of my nation, my people, and it pulled itself out. यही argument अभी आपने लिखा है. That in era of LPG, when you are member of different organizations like EU, European Union, United Nations, NSG, then you cannot take decisions always as per your wish. ये उनका मानना है. I gave you counter argument also. Write down. क्या लिखा सर? Membership of international organizations and treaties or accords put some restraints on its ability to take free decisions. I have given examples and only 3-4 people wrote. The remaining were just sitting. So you will miss that example. No, I will not dictate this example. When I am dictating, please keep writing few points at least. जैसे ये example I gave. Do not just sit and wait for the dictation. In fact, I am not supposed to give any word also in dictation, but I give so that you do not write it wrongly. But then whatever examples I am giving, वो तो लिखो. Understood or not? Next. However, हाँ जी. However, it is not the case, at least for India, because even if we show flexibility in our decisions by being member of these organizations, it is done not to please any country per se, मतलब उसी के लिए, for the sake of it लिख लो, not to please any country for the sake of it. अमेरिका को खुश करने के लिए नहीं करेंगे, but the larger purpose is the interest of India only. Next is secularism. Next ideal is secularism, means the vision of the country. Secularism. First, what was first, sir? Sovereignty. Second is secularism. What is the meaning of secularism, sir? अच्छा ये बताओ पहले, is India secular? सच बोलना. Who said no? Practically, theoretically कुछ नहीं. We are secular. And we are everything which you have written here now. Sovereign भी है, secular भी है, ठीक है ना? If you are appearing for civil services, I think this must have been told to you. You are not to think like a rebel. पहली बात तो. Because some people have given the cost of it. ठीक है? पता चला सब में बहुत अच्छे नंबर आए and you suffered on one paper because there आपके अंदर का जो बागी था वो जाग गया था 2 मिनट के लिए. वहीं पे नंबर कम हो गए. Think like a bureaucrat when you write an answer and think that everything is okay. Few things are problematic, but then you are going to join so that even that thing can be improved. Never write that government never took any cognizance of the tribal people living in the remote areas for the last 70 years. ऐसा कभी मत लिखना, वो तो आज भी वही है. दिस वॉज द डायलॉग इन दिल से. 65 सालों से हमारी खबर नहीं ली गई है. ये एग्जाम में नहीं लिखना है आपको. You write, yes, development is yet to reach there at the full extent. बात वही बोली आपने, but in a better way. Secularism. He is going to judge your personality through what you write. So do not write that you are a pessimistic person or you are just a fault finder. Secularism का मतलब क्या है सर, बोलो. इंडिया सेक्युलर है? Yes. पाकिस्तान सेक्युलर? Why not? Just because it is Pakistan? State? What is the state religion of India? We have no state religion. हमारा कोई state religion नहीं है. What is the state religion of Nepal? अब नहीं है. Earlier it was Hindu state. What is the state religion of Pakistan? Iran? Islam. If you, as a country, you have a state religion, then you are not secular. पहली बात तो, as per the definition which prevails here in India, okay? Because even the definition of secularism can vary across context. Supreme Court itself said that it is very difficult to define what is secularism, because for one thing which appears to be secular here might appear to be anti-secular in some other context. I'll tell you the variation also. Anyways, secularism का पहला मतलब that state should not have a specific religion taken over it. What is the second parameter for the state to be secular? No discrimination. Very good, sir. Discrimination for or against. Okay, these are the two basic pillars to define secularism in India. First of all, state has no religion of its own. Secondly, the state will not be biased in the favor of one religion or against other religion. It is not the case that in India state will favor Hinduism or state will favor Islam or any other religion. State will favor whom? All religion. यही difference है between the secularism of India and secularism of West. USC क्यों West? ये लिखा है. In West, if you say what is secularism, they will say, मतलब the state will say, I have nothing to do with religion. मुझे कोई मतलब नहीं है यहाँ कौन कौन religion है, and I am not going to pamper also any particular religion or any religion. Okay, they might exist, but then the day I want, I'll put restrictions on them, and I will not even go into all these nuances that today is this fair, so I am going to have such a big arrangement for them. I'll manage the state, and what should be the religion and what should be its nuances will be managed by the church existing in the land. मुझे religion से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. In Hindi, I have nothing to do with religion is the way secularism is seen in West. However, in India, secularism has been defined in a way that यहाँ क्या है? The state. You understand state or not? The state favors no religion. सब किसी को favor नहीं करता. It has got detached itself from religion. If, for example, your veil, burqa, can become a threat to the country's security, then I will not get driven by the religious sentiments. I will ban the burqa. Tomorrow, if your turban can create problem for me, for example, in army or whatever, I'm talking about France particularly, then I can ban that also. If tomorrow your cross को तो वैसे अभी तक सुना नहीं है, but then if I feel that it can threaten the security of the country, or I mean somehow it can create disturbance in the society, I'll ban that also, without much deliberation also. Okay, here in India, the state favors all religion पे खत्म नहीं होगी गाड़ी, yeah, like excellent sir, बहुत बढ़िया. Here in India, the state favors all religion alike. यार मैंने I started with this thing only that there is no single accepted definition of secularism. अब मैं आपसे बोलूंगा which is the true God, what will your answer? Same as this. Understood or not? Write down 2 lines. Secularism means, and keep reading what you're writing. यहीं आपका आधा कोर्स पूरा हो जाएगा. Secularism means that state shall not recognize any religion as the official religion of the country, that is Indian state is neither religious nor anti-religious. Indian state is not religious, it is not anti-religious, it is also not तेज बोलो irreligious भी नहीं है. It is what? सारा वर्ड्स का खेल है. Polity. It is not religious, it is not anti-religious, it is not irreligious, it is understood. Unnecessary complexity add करी हुई है, but then we have to deal with this. ये नहीं है हम लोग. Example of a country, देखो इसमें फर्क है. Irreligious means, religious means, you know very well, Pakistan, they appreciate one religion and blasphemy is a big sin there. Anti-religious means, example, you can say China, but then let me tell you, truly there is no country, truly there is no country which is anti-religious. But then if you see the philosophy, communist countries, because Marx said the day communism comes in a country, in a state, communism matlab you understand or not? Anyways, don't go into the detail. In communist countries like USSR or China, it was expected that religion will vanish. Religion अपने आप चला जाएगा. Because religion comes when one party exploits the other party. When there is communism, nobody will exploit because all will be equally exploited. ठीक है ना? तो वहां पे religion का कोई काम ही नहीं है. Russia was USSR, in fact. USSR, not Russia. Or you can say any other communist country would have been anti-religious because they wanted religion to leave its influence. They wanted. ठीक है ना sir? In fact, when USSR was there under Stalin, religion actually got declined to a large extent. Religious activity कम हो गई थी बहुत ज़्यादा. Irreligious, USA मत बोलो, बोलो France, because France has become quite infamous for its approach towards religion. ठीक है सर भाई, for example they ban all these things. Now for them it is scientific, it is practical. It is also true that when somebody is wearing burqa, it is very difficult to see who that pata chala. Some gents also can wear that or not. It can become a security threat. But then you see from the point of view of somebody who is actually practicing the religion, that's a big blow to his sentiment or not. ये problem है. In France they don't appreciate somebody's religious sentiment. Irreligious है वो लोग. Okay. India is neither religious nor anti-religious like USSR. We don't want it to vanish also. And it's not that we are insensitive towards the religious values. ऐसा भी तो नहीं है. Are we insensitive towards religious values? No. In fact, we have given you fundamental right to wear whatever you want, that the symbol of your religion. Sir, is carrying kirpan a fundamental right or not? वो है. Wearing cross is a fundamental right or not? It's your fundamental right. ये इंडिया की ब्यूटी है. This is the secularism of India. Understood or not? Right now. Non-religious means we will not encourage a particular religion or will not depreciate one particular religion. We will not detach ourselves from religion, but will not also attach towards a particular religion. We serve every religion. Service. But I can be biased. I may be non-biased. When I become non-biased towards you, will I not be serving still you? तभी तो मैं आपको सर्व कर ही रहा हूँ. The beauty will be that I will be serving each and everybody equally well. I will not be biased. Non-religious मतलब हाँ जी सर. ये मैंने this I have given you from the perspective of means so that this question can come. For example, they might put you a question that prove or justify that India is not religious, anti-religious, irreligious, it is non-religious. ये डाल सकते हैं वो question because if it comes in examination directly, it can confuse you. हाँ जी सर. Reservation is given to Jains in Madhya Pradesh. हाँ तो एक बात बताओ सर, हज पे गए हो कभी? कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. When you go, you will understand that subsidy is provided by government when you take that pilgrimage. कुंभ मेले में तो गए हो. All those arrangements is not government spending so much in arranging that कुंभ मेला or Amarnath Yatra. So state is doing everything for every religion. When there is a religious procession, whether it belongs to Sikh or Muslims or Hindus, full security is given to that. In fact, they will give you some permission also to play loudspeaker for some time. Only for that particular day. So we try to serve every religion, तभी तो हम non-religious हैं. We don't have a specific religion of ours, but still it will not prevent us from serving all religion. This is called as non-religion. Okay. All religions that have made India, all religions that have made India their home have the right to coexist, have the right to coexist on the soil of India. You write this is a question for you. फिर भी इसको लिख लो आप लोग. Prohibition against discrimination on the grounds of religion is mentioned in which article? 15. Very good. And equality? Excellent. Article 14. Will it be visible if I write here? दिखेगा यहाँ पे आप? नहीं दिखेगा ना? Uniform Civil Code is UCC. Which article talks about uniforms? DPSP hai. I have not taken it, but then people have read it, so they are able to answer. That is very appreciable. Which is the article that actually asks the state to prevent the slaughtering of cow or calves or milch and drought animal? DPSP है ये. 48. Excellent. 48. बहुत बढ़िया. Article 48. Okay. I have given you 6 options. Read them and tell me which option is not a component of secularism. This question can very, very well come in prelims because secularism is in news. They might test your knowledge on this particular issue also. Which of the component out of the 6 is actually not a component of secularism, if at all there is? हाँ उसको भी मिलेगा बिल्कुल. हाँ जी. Freedom of speech and expression and other freedoms. If we stop people from particular religion, you are, for example दे रहा हूँ आपको. For example, when there is a religious festival of one religion, we allow loudspeaker. Whereas when there is a religious festival of other religion, we ban it. So are we not actually curbing their freedom of speech and expression? And right to religion also, practice the religion, right or wrong? So ये article will relate somehow with that thing. भाई ऐसा तो नहीं है that we say that right of freedom of speech and expression is given only to this religion. It is open to all. तो ये तो नहीं हो सकता, though it appear to be. यही तो catch है. When in UPSC you have to weigh every option in depth. This is actually a component of secularism, sir. What about this prohibition against discrimination on the ground of religion? ये तो पता ही है आपको. This is actually a component of secularism. ये तो है ही. This is a component of secularism. Okay. समानता और equality ये भी है. Everybody is equal irrespective of his religion. So this is also a component of secularism. Right to practice religion ये तो undisputable. ये important है. Fundamental duty of the state to enact uniform civil code. I explained what is uniform civil code. Is this a component of secularism or not? इसका secularism से कोई लेना देना है? इसी का तो है. अरे see, if actually I bring every religion on same ground so that women of no community is exploited, am I discriminating against particular religion? No, no sir. Uniform Civil Code is part of DPSP and no part of Indian Constitution. आप इसी से सोचो. देखो ये this question would have come in the examination, then nobody would have guided you. आप खुद सोचो ये question आ गया. Will you not apply this argument? Can there be any part of the Constitution which goes against secularism? खुद सोचो. ये सारे option गलत. मतलब all these options are actually component of secularism. Can there be even one component in Constitution which goes against secularism or which is not a component of secularism? सारे ही somehow secularism को promote कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Uniform Civil Code. When we are bringing Uniform Civil Code, are we actually breaking down the secular fabric of this country? No. ठीक है. ठीक है. You are driven by the, for example, she is Muslim. She is driven by Muslim personal laws. इनके ऊपर वो law apply होते हैं. इनके ऊपर ये होते हैं. Now, when I bring Uniform Civil Code, let me tell you, Uniform Civil Code means in the area of marriage, divorce, adoption, on inheritance of property, there should be a common law across religion. However, अरे ध्यान से सुनो यार. However, right now, these areas are governed by the religious laws of the respective religion. Muslims के लिए अलग law है, इनके लिए अलग law है. Now, tomorrow when state tries to bring a common law, which is scientific and modern also, is state actually becoming anti-religious or state becoming discriminative towards one religion? Uniform Civil Code is actually secular. Because when I am taking away your right to decide how should a divorced Muslim woman be treated, I am not going against the religion. I am going against the cruelty which is inflicted on the women in the name of religion. Is actually every Muslim woman happy with the way she is treated? No. But then since this is a sensitive issue, we do not want to touch it just like that. We want to have a consensus and we want to explain the people that see, you have to change few things now. And this is applying on every religion, whether it is Islam or it is Hinduism also. सब पे apply होता है. Because few things are complicated in every religion. यहाँ पे भी है. Let me complete first. किसके? अरे एक मिनट रुको. सुनो. हाँ वो मैं समझ गया. When you said that Uniform Civil Code is hurting the sentiment of one religion, I asked you किसके? Everyone. एक example देता हूँ. Let me tell you, nothing in this class will be said to hurt the sentiment of any religion. It is only in the interest of explanation. I am giving this example. There was a girl called Gudiya in one of the villages of Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Her husband, army, got lost. Army में खो जाते हैं कभी-कभी. She waited for a few years, 5-6 years. She got remarried and was expecting a baby also. By that time, when she was pregnant, her original husband, the first husband, he came back. बिल्कुल filmy story है, but this is real. He came back suddenly. Now confused. Should I continue with the new husband or should I move back to the original husband who never divorced me or I never divorced him? करूँ क्या? In that case, you know what happened? She was treated like an object. I am not saying whether it is religiously right or wrong, but as per the logic of human treatment, I felt that something was wrong. Nobody asked her what you want. People opened books that according to this book, this law, this should be done. She should be married to a third person. Then again, she should be brought back to this is person, first husband or second person. I'm not able to recall. And she was treated like an animal or an object. Arey, after all, you're deciding the fate of a woman. At least have some feedback from her also. In another case, a woman, she was actually sexually raped by her father-in-law. When she filed a complaint, as per the law books, which these people, the authorities of that particular religion, they opened the books. Now she was told that since you have been contaminated, you have to again get into relationship with a third person, and then only you can again come back to your husband, otherwise not. What is the fault of the lady? अब आप मुझे बात बताओ, when I want to remove these discrepancies, am I actually getting discriminative against the religion? No, I am actually not changing the religion. I am changing the evil practices of the religion. Talaq, 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 or even in Hindus, there are number of practices which are not right, which are to be changed because they have been continuing for previous times. अब time आ गया कि उनको बदला जाए. वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, it is against human rights also. It is not against religion. This is against human rights. So we have to bring correction, and that correction can be in the form of uniform civil code. So how can you say it is anti-secular? Arey, it is most secular. Human welfare is the best religion, and somehow if we serve them, we are serving every religion. पहले ये बताओ, इसका आंसर करो. Sixth. नहीं यार, ये कंप्लीट होने दो. इसी बारे में पूछना है. हाँ बोलो.
Here we are not talking about human rights.
हाँ.
Sir, the UCC code has not been to enforce yet. India is secular. If that duty is negated down, or Supreme Court has struck down that someday India will still remain secular. If we see all the previous options, they are essential components of secularism. Without them, the secularism will not work. But this UCC is knocked down, secularism will still be there.
You have a life or not? Life तो है ना आपके पास. If you become civil servant, will you get another life? No. But the quality of life is becoming better or not? Degree की बात हो जाती है sir. It is true that even without UCC we are secular. But then if we bring uniform civil code, will it not add a feather to the secularism which is practiced in India? आप एक बात बताओ. If I ensure that a particular women of a particular community is not exploited, am I actually not strengthening the secular fabric of this country? I am strengthening the secular fabric, sir. If I remove the discrepancy across the religions, I am actually strengthening religion of this country. I am not weakening it. It is an important component of secularism, sir. कहाँ है secularism अगर एक religion में एक exploitation हो रहा है तो? Tell me. If I am state and I am allowing exploitation of women in particular religion or religions, then where is secularism?
UCC was there.
कहाँ है UCC? Is UCC actually prevailing?
In the constitution, in the fundamental duties that is there, that someday we will have to come with this provision. Parliament will someday, when the situations are like this, when we all believe in cycling. But after so many years, and we are secular, though UCC has not been brought,
समझ गए ना आप?
still the important component.
हाँ.
So if you see, then in my sense, it is not an important component. If secularism is working without it,
आपकी बात सर बिल्कुल सही है कि सेक्युलरिज्म चल ही रहा है तो हाउ इज इट एक्चुअली रिलेटेड टू सेक्युलरिज्म आल्सो? दिस इज नॉट अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ सेक्युलरिज्म. दिस इज व्हाट यू वांट टू से ना. यही तो आप कहना चाह रहे हो. माय पॉइंट इज दैट इफ देयर इज अ फ्लॉ इन द मॉडल ऑफ सेक्युलरिज्म and if by some way you can remove that flaw, then that way is an essential component of that particular concept. अभी भी समझे कि नहीं समझे? रिलीजन में फ्लॉ नहीं है यार, सुनो मेरी बात. पूरे रिलीजन में फॉल्ट नहीं है. सी नाउ डू नॉट ट्विस्ट द वर्ड. हाँ, रिलीजन में फॉल्ट नहीं है यार, रिलीजन की एक प्रैक्टिस में फॉल्ट है. बहुत फर्क हो जाता है. सी व्हेन यू, अरे सुनो यार सुनो, व्हेन यू से देयर इज अ फॉल्ट इन रिलीजन and when you say there is a fault in one practice, there is a huge difference. How can you say that it is meaning the same? हाँ. Yes. No, the people who favor UCC, na, they say that, आप ध्यान से सुनो, focus here. The people who are favoring UCC, people who want uniform civil code to come, they are saying that unless you bring uniform civil code, secularism is hollow. Because same laws are not prevailing across the religions, which can improve the quality of life of women across the religion. ये बात आप समझ रहे हो नहीं समझ रहे हो यार? जब तक, unless you add engine oil, you can drive the car, but the quality of driving will vary or not. फर्क तो पड़ेगा ना. This is the quality of secularism. Secularism exists in France also, but the quality of secularism which is prevailing here is appreciated over France. Quality की बात है सर. Secularism is prevailing in India, but it is the, आप एक बात बताओ, डेमोक्रेसी इंडिया में है कि नहीं है? है, but there are flaws in democracy. If somehow through e-ballot or electronic voting I can fill that flaw, is it not a component of democracy? So uniform civil code, without uniform civil code also we are secular, but the day we bring uniform civil code, the quality of secularism which prevails here will improve. Understood or not? ये बताओ, sentiment of majority, is this part of secular fabric of India or not? Yes or no? Is this part of secularism or not? This was my question. Answer is it is part of secularism in India. An important part of secularism in India. ठीक है? How? Because some are saying no also and they are also right with their perspective. कैसे है ये? बहुत बढ़िया सर, सब जानवरों को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं हम लोग. Not only cow, and he's right. The whole, actually the article 48 is not only about cow, it is also about milch and drought animals. Getting me not? However, एक बात और भी है, cow has a religious significance also for some particular religion. So when you save the life of this animal particularly, you are actually appreciating the sentiments of particular religion. अब India appreciates the sentiment of every religion, तभी तो this somehow relates with the secular practice. But then let me tell you, in UPSC you will find these questions for which you will have people for and against. There will always be people who will say no, 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 this is not, I don't agree with it. Even I don't agree with many options, but then UPSC will also give its answer. Now it has started giving you answer keys. You have to agree with what they say. And what this question I have taken from constitution itself. A constitution की, it's a very deep analysis of the constitution. जहाँ से ये चुराया है ये सामान, it is indisputable. Understood? I deliberately took this option because this appeared to be disputable. If you get this in examination, do not leave it. This was my purpose of taking this question. Understood? What were we doing? What were we doing? We were discussing the ideals of preamble. First, I discussed sovereignty. Second, I discussed secularism. Third is this socialism, right? Do you want a break after 2 hours of 10-15 minutes, or you want continuously for 3 hours? Referendum. People who want break, एक बार हाथ उठा दो. And who do not want break? ठीक है, चलो. Overlapping. Socialism. Sir, बताओ. What is the meaning of this word here in India? इसका मतलब क्या है? And if you can tell me the articles which make or which actually point towards the fact that India is a socialist country, if you can give me 2 articles which point towards the fact that India is a socialist country, what are those? 39? Article 39B and 39C. DPSP. They point to the fact that India is a secular country. अब मतलब क्या है secular का? What is the meaning of having a socialist country? What is Article 39B? हाँ जी. अरे वो पढ़ के मत बताओ. Gist, the gist. Yes, whatever material resources are existing in the society, it should reach to everyone. For example, river water, wood, or animal, or agriculture products. If they are material resources of the society, minerals, it should reach to every person, or its benefit should reach to every person. It should not happen, it cannot happen that Ambani buys all the mineral mines of this country and he says, no, this is mine, now you please go away, I have bought them. That will not be allowed. Anyways, I'll explain that later on also. 39C, इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Gist. Prevent the concentration of wealth at particular places. Article 39C says we should prevent, or state should prevent, what sir? Concentration of wealth. Only few should not get the wealth concentrated in their hands. It cannot happen, it will not be allowed that few industrialists, they take away all the wealth. वो खूब अमीर हो गए, and there is no limit on their strength of becoming rich. We will not allow that. यही socialism है. देखो, when this concept was developed, it was thought that what is happening, ये concept जब बना, it was thought, particularly when sociologists like Karl Marx, they discussed these things. They had a vision that why people are unhappy. People are unhappy because few people who are in a better position, they squander all the wealth of the society. अपने पास रखते हैं. So other are deprived of it. But after all, they are also son and daughter of God only. They should also get something which is coming by nature. जो nature दे रहा है उनको भी तो मिलना चाहिए. But that was not happening. The people who were rich, they could squander. The other were actually deprived, and they were getting deprived day by day. So he said we should have a system, एक ऐसा समाज हो. There should be a society where everybody is alike. Either they are alike, they are poor alike, or they are rich alike. एक ऐसा समाज होना चाहिए. And for that, what should happen? उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए? हाँ जी, आप बताओ. अगर आप कार्ल मार्क्स हो गए, क्या करते आप? And the condition is that I want a society. Please, this is something you have to think and think. My intention, I would have dictated that. सोचने के लिए ये चीज पूछ रहा हूं आपसे. My intention is that I want a society, a samaj, a nation where everybody gets almost equal share of resources, and he shall be made to work according to his capacity. जितना वो कर सकता है और बाकी शेयर सब में बराबर हो. What should be done? the output of production should be distributed equally amongst all. सब में बराबर बटे, हम जो बनाए. पहले ऐसा होता था कि नहीं होता था? Tell me. In tribes, very ancient tribes, this used to happen. When they would hunt, they would distribute the hunt among all equally. सब में बराबर बटता था. Exactly. Common property is the answer. You develop a common property, आपको कौन रोकता है? You make every property of the society the property of the state, and then state will do the production and state will distribute. State बांटेगा सारा सामान जो भी बनेगा. This was a socialism which Marx had envisioned, or socialists like him or communists, they envisioned. You take away all the productive resources and give it to state. जो भी उग सकता है, जो भी बन सकता है, कौन उगाएगा, कौन बनाएगा? Whatever can be produced, whatever can be grown, it will be produced or grown by whom? State. State will take over. इसे कहते हैं ये. Nationalization, that too complete. We should completely nationalize everything. Every industry should be controlled by government. Every farmland should be controlled by government. They should produce, they should grow, and then distribute without discrepancy among all. सब में बराबर बांट दो. This was a kind of socialism which he had in mind. But then we were smart. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru knew the benefit of having socialism in a country particularly like India. Why it is so important in India? Socialism India में क्यों important है? Because historically in India the disparity was huge. There were many people, there was a huge chunk of population, in fact majority was in such a position that they could have never ever grown even a single grain of food by themselves. They would not have produced anything in the industry by themselves had not state supported them. एक बहुत बड़ी जनता यहाँ पे ऐसी थी, had you just leave them on their own, they would not have grown anything. And also state was not in a position to distribute everything among them equally. दोनों प्रॉब्लम थी. So what Pandit Nehru did, he did not nationalize everything in India. उन्होंने बोला भाई सोशलिज्म तो हम लाएंगे. पंडित नेहरू देखो, there is a difference there. There, what is the approach of socialism there in communist countries? Russia, France, क्या approach है? In these communist countries, nationalization was done, and that too using force. सबसे छीन लिया जो सामान था और बोला कि हम अब देंगे तुम्हें. So that the material resources of the society can be distributed equally among all, and also there is no concentration of wealth, whether you are the PM or president or चपड़ासी, सब में बराबर समान जाएगा. But then we did not want one thing to happen. We wanted socialism to prevail. We appreciated the Karl Marx idea that there should be a samaj, a society where everybody is getting equally and he can contribute according to his capacity. Nobody will be forced to work. Nobody can retain something beyond his requirement. ये बहुत अच्छा model था. But to achieve this model, there can be different routes or not. One route was taken by the communist country, forceful nationalization. We took another route which was called as democratic socialism. We wanted socialism to come. We wanted the material resources of the society to be distributed among all equally. We wanted no concentration of wealth, but our approach was not forceful. जबरदस्ती हमने किसी से किसी की चीज नहीं छीनी. We brought these socialistic changes in this society in a democratic manner. कैसे? Any example? Means we appreciated both these ideas, but in a democratic style. हाँ जी. Land reforms. एक सेकंड सर. जमींदार्स are having huge lands with them. Concentrate तो उन्होंने किया हुआ था. We took away land from them. We took excess land from them. Okay, and we laid down some rules कि भाई अगर आप खेती करते हो If you are doing agriculture yourself, then you can retain the land, and that too this much only, not this much. ये land reforms था. Now this was done for what? To prevent concentration of wealth. ये हमने उसके लिए किया. Bank nationalization कब किया? 1969. We nationalized number of banks. उनको means these banks were private. हमने उनसे छीन लिए उनके banks. See, I am saying so because you can question. एक तरफ तो आप कहते हो force का use नहीं हुआ. On one hand, nationalization was done. This is what I am going to clear now. We nationalized the banks. We used force not for the sake of using force. We used force because you were the bank owners. Through these banks, you were collecting money and giving it to your friends. The poor were never getting the loans from you. Means you are not serving the purpose for which you became bank owners. And this was obstructing Article 39B. इसकी वजह से पैसा सब में जा ही नहीं रहा था. The rich were holding the money and they were distributing it among themselves. The poor were never given loan. तो हमने क्या किया सर? We took away those banks from those bank owners. उनसे उनके बैंक छीन लिए. We nationalized them. Okay. But then tell me, did we nationalize each and every property in this country? No. Did we take away the business of Ambani from him? Tata from him? No. We did not follow complete nationalization. अभी मैंने यहाँ लिखा था nationalization complete. We did not follow complete nationalization as it was done in USSR or China. We actually developed a model of economy which was called as mixed economy. Mixed economy means there will be some organizations, some production units which will be controlled by government. But you are also free as a private individual to carry out your production or to generate wealth or to produce. However, remember one thing, when you produce, we will ensure, state will ensure that you do not retain the wealth output of your production beyond a point. And also, what you produce goes to people, everyone. Tata namak bana raha hai. How will you ensure that it goes to everyone? Tax, कुछ और बताओ. Low price, PDS, subsidy. Is not government giving subsidy? For example, Tata is making salt. Now that salt can cost you 20 rupees per packet. But are you getting salt in 20 rupees? No. You might be getting it in 2 rupees or 5 rupees. Reason being, the remaining cost is borne by government. We allowed industries, private industries also to work. But the model of economy was such that even when private enterprises were working, we ensured, state ensured that they do not overprice the material, and whatever they produce, it reaches every person of this country at a very low price. This was the beauty of Indian socialism. But ये socialism ही तो है. We are not completely nationalizing everything. We are allowing private enterprise also to produce, and we have nationalized few things. जो critical था उसको तो हमने कर दिया nationalize. For example, railways, or for example, some banks, they were nationalized. They were taken by the government because they were misused. Socialism आ ही नहीं पाता अगर हम इनको नहीं लेते तो. However, the way we implemented the second half, mixed economy, we asked Ambani, कि भाई, you want to produce, you want to generate wealth, generate. But then whatever wealth you will generate, we'll keep an eye on that, and we will not allow you to earn beyond a particular limit if you do not pay the taxes. हम आपसे income tax लेंगे, corporate tax लेंगे, जो हम ले रहे हैं, and that tax will be used to help the poor. Subsidy वहीं से तो आती है और कहाँ से आएगी? Moreover, whatever you produce, the price of that thing will be regulated by us. By oil, Ambani is also producing oil, and he can fix the rate of the petrol. Now the petrol and diesel are deregulated. मतलब अब वो market के price पे चलते हैं. But earlier, Ambani could have put any price on petrol कि भाई मैं तो 100 रुपए लीटर पे बेचूंगा. Government did not allow this to happen. Government fixed the prices. Sir, you cannot sell the petrol per liter beyond the rate of 50 rupees. And if you are feeling that you are incurring a loss, we will compensate the loss. But लोगों से आप इतना ही लोगे. ये क्या है? 39B ही तो है ये. Means When you are fixing the prices of everything and you are giving subsidy, you are ensuring that whatever is coming up as production in the society is reaching everyone. अगर पेट्रोल को आप अपने रेट पे जाने दो, if you allow the rate of the petrol to go up as per the market dynamics, then it might become inaccessible to us also. 200 रुपए लीटर हो जाएगा. यूरिया, is government not bringing down the prices of urea? Subsidy देती है. Otherwise urea would have also become inaccessible to many farmers. This is the beauty of Indian socialism. अब आपसे कोई पूछेगा PDS क्यों देते हैं? PDS इसलिए देते हैं because socialism is also one of the goals, so that the prices of many commodities come down and they become accessible to many poor who otherwise would have not got access to these things. यही तो है material resources distribution. And how we will ensure that concentration of wealth is not taking place? बोलो सर. वो तो है यार article. How will you ensure that? How will you ensure that concentration of wealth is not taking place in few hands? Taxation. आप earn तो करे जा रहे हो. We are also taking it on part of it, and also there is a tab. Ambani, can he not buy the whole land of India? आप बोलो. Yes. Using his money power, he can buy the whole of India. But एक land ceiling नाम की चीज सुनी आपने? There is a ceiling on the amount of land you can buy. Why that ceiling is there? क्यों है सर वो ceiling? To prevent concentration of land in one hand, that is money. अब इन दोनों का purpose क्या है? Socialistic goal. Because when only these two things will happen, you distribute the resources of society among all, and you also ensure that nobody holds beyond his requirement or beyond a limit, then you are developing nothing but a socialistic society. यही तो है socialism. मगर देखो, the beauty or the difference between Indian socialism and their socialism, we do not force, we do not use force, there they use force. We do not completely nationalize, there they completely nationalize. This is a major difference. Got this? Therefore, Indian socialism is also called as democratic socialism or Fabian socialism. हाँ जी. हाँ. Both. Because if, for example, I am a cottage worker, cottage industry, for example, can be put in priority area. That in this area, money cannot enter. I have nothing against him. But example is jaldi catch hoga. If he is stopped as per the rules to enter into this area, he cannot make candles, which is made by cottage industry. ये उनके लिए reserved है. क्यों? Because if we allow him to enter in that area also, eventually he will take away all the production in the society. और सब कुछ वो बनाएंगे बैठ के. अभी बना ही रहे. But at least few things. अभी आप ये देखो ना. Why are we not allowing FDI in retail easily? So that few things, the vendors, they are protected. Their interest is protected. Understood? Write down. Secular socialism. In India, we followed democratic socialism. That is achieving socialistic goals through democratic means. Two most important socialistic goals. Two most important socialistic goals in our constitution are first, पहला aim क्या है socialistic? First, under Article 39B, Article 39 Clause B, states shall take steps to provide equal distribution of material resources 39C, state shall take steps to prevent concentration of wealth in few hands. Fewer, you write fewer hands, FEWER, fewer hands. कुछ लोगों के हाथ में नहीं होनी चाहिए. किसके हाथ में होनी चाहिए? सबके हाथ में. Okay. You can write down the things which I explained also. Mixed economy, no complete nationalization. These things you have to write when I explain. ठीक है? Who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution? Was that draft constitution revised also by somebody? सवाल जवाब का दौर. After the draft was made, was it revised also? Who was the head of that revisory committee of the draft constitution? These questions will come in examination. ये आ जाते हैं कभी पे. And these questions are not polity actually, they are GK. Okay. Find the answer and come tomorrow. कल इसका जवाब मिलेगा अगर आपको नहीं मिला तो. Original constitution provided for how many fundamental rights? How many categories of fundamental rights? 7. And now how many you have? 6. किसको उड़ाया? Right to property has been removed from the constitution. Who was the only president who got elected unopposed? हाँ सर, नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी. बहुत बढ़िया. ये कहाँ से रट्टा लगाया? लक्ष्मी का. नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी, the only president to get elected unopposed. Who was the only president to continue for 2 consecutive terms? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Very good. Democracy का मतलब क्या है? Sir, what is the meaning of democracy? बोलो. वोट डालना is democracy. हाँ जी बताओ. What is the meaning of crux of democracy? हाँ जी. Rule of people means decision will be taken by people. In India, do you find actually we have democracy? Democracy है यहाँ पे इंडिया में? आंसर होगा सर yes. पहली बात तो this approach is to be taken. पहले तो ये believe करना yes, we have democracy. However, when we proceed, we will just show that these are the roadblocks in achieving the true democracy. Tell me, how do you feel that in India we have democracy? पहली बात, right to vote. 326, Article 326 provides you the right to vote, universal adult suffrage. Okay, now it means that the people who are making laws for the country, LAWS, people who are making laws for the country are chosen by you. आप ही ने उसको choose किया है. Means you have given the authority and having faith on them कि भाई आप हमारे लिए law बनाओ. It means when they are making law, who is actually making the law? You. यही तो democracy है. भाई law making किया है. When you make a law, you actually take a decision. And when your representatives sitting in the parliament make the law, it means you are making the law, you are deciding what is good and bad for India. पहली बात तो ये. But then tell me, is this a sufficient condition to realize democracy in this country? Sir, आपको क्या लगता है? Is this a sufficient condition to realize democracy? it is not the only feature to bring democracy in this country, but it is a prominent feature. Requirement पहले ही तो ये है. What are the other features by which we will ensure democracy, or if they are not there, democracy is not there? बहुत बढ़िया. Freedom of speech, freedom of press. आप ये देखो, elections take place in China or not? By there also the government is formed by elections only or not? But is actually, are they having democracy? No. You write anything, भाई वहां एक ही पार्टी है. I am contesting myself. तो यही डेमोक्रेसी खत्म हो गई. एटलीस्ट इन इंडिया आप यू कुड हैव सेड दिस आल्सो दैट मल्टी पार्टी सिस्टम इज आल्सो समथिंग व्हिच स्ट्रेंथन्स डेमोक्रेसी. अगर एक ही पार्टी है, कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ चाइना, वेयर इज अ डेमोक्रेसी? बिकॉज आइडियोलॉजी इज ओनली वन. You have to accept somebody from them only. So even if voting taking place in China, it is not democracy. However, in India, since there are so many parties, people can choose the best who can highlight their interest in the parliament. So the right to vote is actually something beneficial or meaningful because we have multi-party democracy. Secondly, he said very correctly, democracy क्या है? For example, आप ये देखो, I asked you something. Should we do this? Should we do that? But I only asked. I said you do not reply or you do not have right to say no. तो किस बात का क्वेश्चन किया मैंने? Unless you have the freedom to speak out, what sort of democracy is this? बोलने की इजाजत तो दो. And that should be protected also. It should not happen that if you say otherwise, I prosecute you. And he said correctly, it is the freedom of speech and expression mentioned in article 19(1). I mean deal with these specifically. As of now, जब बोलने की इजाजत ही नहीं है तो कहाँ की डेमोक्रेसी? So this is very very important to ensure democracy prevails. For example, government took a decision, they made a law. Since you had the freedom of speech and expression, you could say, no, I do not agree with this. Understood this, sir? Right now. And you know, in Switzerland, if they have to decide, even now, in few cases, not all the cases, what they do? Referendum. They throw the question open to public and they say, what is your take on this? The best example, Brexit. They ask people, you want to remain here or not? Scotland, they also had a referendum. You want to be part of UK or not? उनसे पूछा ना उन्होंने. This is the realization of true democracy. You ask people directly, but then is it possible to realize this in India? I say, is referendum a very good way by which I can strengthen democracy? आपको लगता है referendum से democracy strengthen होगी? Not always. Why? Lack of, because people do not know how to use that power first of all ढंग से. Education level उतना high नहीं है ना. अरे if I give a car, if I put a monkey in the plane, in the cockpit of an aeroplane, will he be able to fly? No. और चला उड़ा भी दिया तो he will not be able to land because it's a technical thing. Difficult things, difficult decisions, critical decisions can be taken when your thinking is broadened. With narrow thinking, with parochial considerations like caste, money or regionalism, you cannot take critical decisions which are for the whole country. वहाँ damage होने का डर है. Therefore, we do not go for these direct democratic means like referendum. We believe in representative democracy. Representative democracy means our representatives will take decision on our behalf. And we'll abide by that. We'll accept that. And if we do not want to accept that, we can raise our voices through paper, social media, protest, peaceful of course. Understood or not? Right now. We have representative democracy based on one man, one vote principle. One man, one vote principle. Various provisions like freedom of speech and expression, active civil society, free media, has been strengthening the democratic practices. How many of you actually find reading these articles boring and mugging up very difficult? कितने लोगों को लगता है यार ये आर्टिकल ना होते तो पॉलिटी फिर अच्छी होती? I can only say sorry to you. Reason being, you cannot survive in polity without mugging up at least the basic articles. ठीक है ना? And with my experience, I have learned one thing, that need not mug up all the articles, but the few articles which are indispensable will be discussed in the class so many times that even if you want not to remember them or recall them, you have to recall them. इतना रट्टा लग जाएगा उसका. And generally, even if after that some people are unable to recall few articles or remember few articles, the articles which were in news, जो news में थे, they are critical. जैसे right now also there was a debate where should we actually continue with the word secularism in preamble or not. अभी debate चल रहा था ये पीछे. Then of course article 25 to 28 they become very very important. वो news में है. Because of this JNU issue, freedom of speech and expression 19(1)(a) was also in news. So you need to उसको भी रट्टा लगा लो. So a few articles are indispensable, उनको छोड़ के मत जाना. But then try to remember all these things, because in mains, if you substantiate your answer with these things, it will beautify your answer. Though you will not get much to write, because nowadays they are asking for only 100 words, 150 words or maximum 200 words. इससे ऊपर पूछ ही नहीं रहे. So no scope of writing much. मगर इनके बिना पॉलिटिक्स चल भी नहीं सकती. In examination he might ask you, see what is your take on article 249. आप बोलोगे सर क्या है article 249? That can put you in an embarrassing situation, no? And he will not just ask you anything out of the blue. Somehow few things which will recur again and again, वो वही पूछेगा आपसे. And if he is asking you एकदम से कुछ भी, then it is his fault. You do not worry for that. Do not try to prepare yourself for each and every eventuality. Prepare with a modest foreground and then build over it to the extent possible. Do not harass yourself beyond a limit. If you study with a calm mind in a relaxed way, provided you are studying only, then you can get the results without any panic. Panic करने की जरूरत नहीं है उसके लिए. अरे यार मुझे तो वो आर्टिकल याद नहीं आ रहा. It happens before examination. Somebody might come to your room. If you are living in this area, he might come to your room. यार आज वो आर्टिकल पढ़ा नहीं है उसने. 269 मजा आ गया. You are in tension. क्या है 269? Tomorrow is paper, and that is enough to bring down your confidence. So do not try to prepare yourself for each and every eventuality which might occur in this examination, which actually occur in this examination also. Let me tell you. But then if you go at a normal pace also, then you will be not in any trouble. Difficult the high exam. You are studying in 3 hours continuously. How many classes you have been attended where you sit for 3 hours continuously on daily basis? Difficult is because of this labor only. But then if you start enjoying it, and if you see the larger goal, it will get you through, then you will enjoy this period also. ठीक है, डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you have a phobia of articles, no need to worry. इनको ऐसे रट लो जैसे किसी का नाम. ठीक है सर, सबका नाम दे दो. आर्टिकल 2, आर्टिकल ये, आर्टिकल वो. Slowly you will find people in them and you will be able to recall. ठीक है, right now. Republic. Republic. खत्म नहीं हुआ यार अभी. Republic. Republic. बोलो सर मीनिंग. What is the meaning of republic? हाँ जी आप बताओ सर पीछे. हाँ Rule of public. वही हो गया actually. It is also kind of rule of public only, but then if I go by technical definition, it means that the head of state is always elected and not hereditary. As against monarch. Monarchy में क्या होता है? Monarch means king or the ruler, king or queen. After he or she will pass away, his or her son or daughter, they will become the next monarch. यहाँ ऐसा नहीं है. In republic, the head of the state, who is the ultimate representative of people, he is put to the post by people themselves. लोग ही उसको बनाएंगे head of the state, nobody else. Who is the head of the state in Indian Republic? Or the PM? President. Who is the head of the government? Or president? PM. Who is actually the executive head of the government? Who is actually the executive head of the state, sir? Who is the actual executive head of the state? UPSC will this question only. Then you can ask for justification. Is it titular or actual? In that case, you have to take a decision. See, I'm not criticizing anybody's effort, but I mean to tell you that this is the way they ask question. Sometime you will ask for definition, explanation. वो तो होगी नहीं. So try to have this, develop this experience that when the justification is not given in the question, how will I approach the option? वो practice से ही आएगा. Next. In republic is a political system. Republic is a political system where people are supreme. And there is no hereditary ruler. That is head of the state is elected by people for a fixed term. Okay, done. Now let me come on the aspiration. लोगों को क्या चाहिए? बोलो. लोगों को क्या चाहिए? वैसे republic, from which country we have taken this concept of republic? France. Excellent. Anyways, aspiration. पहली aspiration सर आपकी क्या है? Justice. आपको न्याय मिले. What kind of justice you are looking forward to? Political, then? Political justice means what? What is the meaning that you are getting political justice? इसका क्या मतलब है? Quick. Right to vote. आप ये बोलो. Anyone, any other view on this? You are right. Right to vote. Political justice तो है. Yes. When I say that you are delivered political justice, I mean to say that you have a fair chance to participate in the political system of this country. You can contest election and you can vote during elections. Nobody will stop you. Otherwise, unless there are some specific conditions. For example, you are lunatic. तब तो आपको रोक देंगे. Okay, पता चला एक स्टैम्प मारनी थी आपने 10 मारी. No. Political justice means you have fair chance of participating in the political scenario of this country, either by contesting election or voting. Article prominent 326. Write down. What is social justice? आर्टिकल छोड़ो, ऐसे ही बता दो. Yes, no, yes. Social justice means there will be no social bias against anyone. If I am belonging to this caste, nobody will look down upon me. Nobody will practice untouchability on me. ठीक है ना? Article कितने? See, if you see from article 15 to 18, these things are prominent. 15 का purpose भी तो यही है, social justice. When I say that nobody can be discriminated on the basis of caste, means I am providing social justice. Nobody can be discriminated on the basis of religion. I am providing for the social justice only. है कि नहीं है? Article 15 यही है ना sir? Article 16, opportunities in public employment. Everybody has the right to appear for the government job, and equal right, irrespective of the religion. What is this? Social justice. Economic justice. What is the meaning of economic justice? Economic justice. No economic bias against anyone. If you are poor, no problem. You can enter into a park. If you are rich, no problem. Then also you can enter a park. समझते हो मेरी बात को सर? If you do not have money to get justice, state will provide you a lawyer. Free legal aid है कि नहीं है? Free legal aid will be provided to poor part of DPSP or not? So this is there to provide you economic justice. You want to set up an industry, nobody will stop you without any proper justification or reason. ये क्या है? Economic justice. Equal pay for men and women. What is this? Both economic as well as social justice. ठीक है ना? See, generally if you see economic justice somehow relate with the social justice. He might give you some article or some explanation and ask you, is it pointing towards social justice, political justice, economic justice? They might make a question this way. ठीक है ना? So I am giving you conceptual clarity so that you can answer there. Next, liberty. Liberty, very good name. Liberty का मतलब है आजादी. आजादी, very difficult word. What is the meaning of liberty, sir? हाँ बोलो. हाँ. और आप ऐसे भी बोल सकते थे, एक ऐसी आजादी जिसपे स्टेट अपना फुल स्टॉप ना लगा सके. लिबर्टी आजादी पे पूरी रिसर्च करी है इन्होंने, जरूरी भी है. लिबर्टी, लिबर्टी मीन्स दैट स्टेट or no other party can arbitrarily put restrictions on you. For no reason आपके ऊपर restriction नहीं लगेगी, ये liberty है and you are free to make your choices. समझ रहे हो सर? For example, you want to wear a particular clothing, then state will not stop you. People cannot stop you. But then let me tell you, liberty के साथ ये भी लग के आता है. Star marks, condition applies. Understood, sir? Write down. Liberty means absence of arbitrary means without any justification. Absence of arbitrary powers exercised by state over an individual. After liberty, what is the next? What are we doing right now? Aspiration. Liberty के बाद पूछना पड़ता है कि चल क्या रहा है. इक्वालिटी, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग सर इक्वालिटी? पता है, इसमें बताने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है. क्या है मतलब इक्वालिटी का? इक्वालिटी ऑफ आप ये देखो, यू सी almost every equality which you can think of are summarized in these two words. If I get opportunity like you or anybody else in this country to get a government job, to enter into a park, to enter into a cinema, to enter into a temple, to roam around with my friends, means I have opportunity or not, and there is no discrimination on any grounds. Status also, I want to maintain my status. Status is maintained by how? पैसे से. देखो इक्वालिटी ऐसी है, dignified life. If he is a millionaire and I am also a millionaire, जो कि हम हैं ही, tell me sir, are we having same status or similar status? छोड़ो same. इनका बैंक बैलेंस है 10 करोड़ रुपीज, माइन इज ऑल्सो 10 करोड़ रुपीज. आर वी सिमिलर इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्टेटस सर? बोलो यस और नो. नो, वी माइट डिफर इन टर्म्स ऑफ आवर स्टेटस. व्हाट कैन बी एन एग्जांपल? स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग तो सेम हो जाएगी. 10 करोड़ 10 करोड़. I am a rich Dalit. He is a rich Brahmin. Status might differ or not? Yes. Status is also in society not because only of money. It is also because of the general way or the perception people have towards you. है कि नहीं? So I should have equality of status also. It's not enough that he has earned the money which I have with me, or I have earned the money which he has. I also need one more thing, equality of respect. Respect is a part of status, and that can never come till the time I am discriminated on the basis of my caste or religion. ये status बहुत बड़ी चीज है. Status is not only regarding money, status is also your social status. तभी तो हमने ये दिया है. To ensure that there is equality of status, we have given Article 15 to 18. For example, when we have abolished untouchability, Article 17 or not, the purpose of giving untouchability as an offense is this, so that nobody can practice untouchability against me, and he will be spared because he is from upper caste. सब बराबर होने चाहिए. So untouchability should not. भाई आप ये बात सुनो. Why actually we see some people inferior, some people superior? Reason being, this has been a practice. So we have to end the practice, and this is the aspiration of people of this country. We want equality of status in 360 degrees, money wise also, socially also. Write down. हाँ जी, yes. The titles which are given by the constitution to you, they cannot become a ground for discrimination. Okay, Saif Ali Khan can use the word Nawab अपने नाम के आगे. Okay, but government will not tell him that you please mention Padma Shri Saif Ali Khan, because that can create a difference of status. First, you will not believe also. Secondly, it can create a difference or not. हो जाएगा ना? होगा कि नहीं होगा? I'm referring him Padma Shri. I'm referring him Padma Shri, and I'm referring you with your name. एक sense of आएगी कि नहीं feeling आएगी? And because you know why this will come, because this is given by the state. Now he will use the word Nawab, and you might not feel problem. Reason being, he is calling himself Nawab because historically he has been Nawab, and he has got that money also by which he has that property. But state will not give him such titles by which you feel discriminated. Okay. इक्वालिटी ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी कैसे आएगी? Article 16, for example, if everybody can get access to the government jobs, presumption तो ये है कि job government ही दे रही है. If everybody has got access to government jobs in an equal way, equality आ गई. Because ultimately, if your economic status will become better, and for example, you give reservation. आप ये देखो, he is a backward, he is a upper community person. I am a backward community person. Assumption, hypothetical exemption only. ठीक है ना? When through Article 16, I get reservation, and I have achieved that level. अभी हम सब बराबर हैं. कल को, for example, मेरा selection हो गया IAS के अंदर, and I am from a backward community. Will you have this tendency to laugh upon me? At least मेरे मुंह पे तो नहीं हंस पाओगे ना? And slowly, when my children will also enter into the service, this historical discrimination, will it not come down? ये भी कम आ जाएगा. And thanks to Article 16 Clause 4, उन्होंने मुझे ये ऑप्शन दिया that I can enter the service like any of you can. तो equality of opportunity से क्या हुआ? Equality of status can also be achieved in times. अब तुम attempt की बात मत करो यार. This is not only about civil services, no. We are talking about polity of India. भाई हर जगह limited attempt थोड़ी ना यार. In many places you have unlimited attempt. दो जितनी बार दे सकते हो. है कि नहीं? अरे यार कम नहीं है. 6 अटेम्प्ट कम होते हैं क्या? अरे आप भगवान का शुक्र मनाओ कि आपको 6 ही मिले हैं. Believe me. If you say I am a general candidate and I got 6 attempts and other is having 12, then thank God that you have 6 and अर्लियर और भी कम होते थे. वो और भी अच्छा था. 4 अटेम्प्ट 6 अटेम्प्ट बहुत है. पूरी लाइफ थोड़ी ना रुकना है उस अटेम्प्ट के लिए. स्टडी, तभी तो मैं बोलता हूं स्टडी हार्ड फॉर 1 ईयर, स्टडी इन अ डिसिप्लिन मैनर फॉर 1 ईयर. क्यों 6 अटेम्प्ट और 7 अटेम्प्ट की वेट करनी है एंड थिंक दैट वी आर डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड? नो, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रेजेंट. सी द हिस्टोरिकल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. Because for what you can do in this attempt using the resources you have, some other person might take more. इसलिए उनको दिया गया. It is, देखो पहली बात, if you want to become a civil servant in minimum time, then have faith in the system. पहली बात, I am not favoring anything, but this is true. Unless you have faith in the system, then you will start criticizing the system like anything, and this will bring down your marks like anything. Give an analysis like a neutral person. ठीक है ना? Right now. Equality. Preamble talks about equality of status and opportunity. Equality of status, you can give example Article 15, 17, 18. Opportunity, Article 16. ये कोई exhaustive list नहीं. I have only given you example. There can be more ways by which equality of opportunity and status can be guaranteed. Fraternity, thankfully the last. Brotherhood, बहुत बढ़िया. Fraternity का मतलब क्या है सर? भाईचारा, brotherhood. It means that every other person in this country is your brother and only brother. लिखो. Fraternity is the sense of brotherhood that prevails among all the people of India. It is must, in English, it is must, M-U-S-T. to ensure what? Unity and integrity of India. These two words are also in preamble, ना? तो fraternity आएगी तो अपने आप unity आ जाएगी. To ensure unity and integrity of India. ठीक है सर? Clear? पहले एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर करो यार. बहुत देर से मैं ही बोले जा रहा हूं. इंटीग्रिटी इन द ये पेन है. इफ यू पुल आउट द कैप, ओके, एंड जस्ट पुट इट लाइक दिस, अब ये लूजली है हेल्ड, you have actually attacked on its integrity, okay, and you have destroyed the integrity now. Understood? This word was added by 42nd Amendment Act 1976, and the purpose was that during that point of time secessionist tendencies were rising hard in particular parts of country. So we wanted that tomorrow if we take action against them, nobody can question that. Or if we put some restrictions on these activities using some special powers of the state, nobody can question that in court of law, because that point will say we are doing this to maintain the integrity of this country. Integrity मतलब उसकी purity, वहां पे कोई secessionism की tendency ना develop हो. Its purity of form and shape. So we deliberately added the word. इसका purpose था. Because then you could have challenged an action of the government in the court of law easily, and that would have been called unconstitutional. Then government had no point कि हमने ऐसा क्यों किया. Now government, if they act tough on these secessionist tendencies in specific states of India, then government can say, sir, we are doing so because preamble says integrity is of utmost important and is to be maintained in India, and we are doing this not for the fun of it, to maintain the integrity. In polity, in constitution, every word has its meaning, every comma will have its meaning. Constitution की बात कर रहा हूँ, not polity GS. Understood or not? Yeah, see, something meaning वही है, but some concept is positive, some concept can be negative. Positive मतलब जैसे कि unity means you are bringing together people. It's an effort to bring together people. Integrity saving का मतलब क्या है? You are preventing people from falling apart. चीज तो वही है. But things are given in different words because they have connotation which are different. Unity has a positive connotation and saving the integrity has a negative connotation. To bring unity, you have to bring people together. But to save integrity, you have to use different means also. For example, acting tough. Because constitution will be seen from the spirit of constitution, not literally also. ये integrity word डाल के we can actually take some liberty to be tough on these. AFSPA है, for example, Armed Forces Special Power Act. We know it is wrong to have human right violation, but then on what grounds we can justify AFSPA? The purity of Indian boundaries will get destroyed the time AFSPA is removed. This is the argument given by government. Okay, I am not saying it is right or wrong. वो अलग discussion है. AFSPA is brought not to bring unity in the country. AFSPA is brought to maintain the integrity. However, when the government is extending or it is ensuring that various religion communities are coming together on various forums, inter-religious congresses भी होती हैं. This is to maintain unity. समझ में आई बात नहीं सर? चीज तो वही है, but the way you see it, because when you do fundamental rights, you'll see same thing can be seen from different angles, and therefore different names have been given. नहीं, यहाँ कंट्री है, ठीक है. सत्यमेव जयते सुना है? सत्यमेव जयते मेंशन्ड इन Emblem, from where it has been taken? कहाँ से? हाँ, शोका पिलर ने कहाँ से लिया था? मुंडक उपनिषद. ठीक है. Now let's start with the new topic. आधा घंटा और चलेगा. फंडामेंटल राइट्स. Part 3 of the Constitution is fundamental right. Which part of the Indian Constitution is called as the cornerstone of Indian Constitution? Part 3. It is also called as cornerstone, means very important, on which the whole thing is hinging. Let me give you some basic concept clarity, because that is also quite hazy in the minds of people. Be very alert. Part 25. 25 गिनती से आते हैं, but part wise 22. Okay. We have certain rights as citizens of India, and even if you are not citizen, you will be enjoying certain rights when you are in India, right? Rights are categorized in different forms, in different ways, because if many people get confused, what is the difference between this right and that right? ये क्लैरिटी अभी ले लो आप लोग. राइट्स आर अभी आपके हाथ में था ना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. 22 parts. If you see, there are sub parts that can added to make 25. सर कोई डिलीट तो नहीं हुआ? कोई डिलीट हुआ है ना? See this. आपको राइट्स दिए. I can categorize those rights in different forms, in different categories. Few rights are mentioned in the Constitution, and even within Constitution they are mentioned in which part? Part 3, fundamental right. ठीक है ना? ये है part 3, which is called as fundamental right. Example? Yes. Right to equality, right to life, right to freedom. All these rights which are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution are called as fundamental right. ये बात clear है आपको? But will these fundamental rights be called as constitutional rights? Yes, because they are mentioned in the Constitution. भाई, is fundamental right not part of Constitution? Part तो है ही ना. Every right which is mentioned in the Constitution will be called as constitutional right. However, out of those constitutional rights, few rights are given specifically in part 3, which is fundamental right. तो जो भी right mentioned है part 3 में, उन्हें क्या बोलेंगे? Fundamental right. All the parts which are rights which are mentioned in part 3 will be called as fundamental right. However, there are some rights which are given in the Constitution, but they are not given in part 3. Example? right to vote, Article 326, right to property, Article 300A, 300A, agreed? Now these are the rights given to you, but they are not fundamental right, but they have special status over to other rights. इनकी एक status खासियत है, they are mentioned in constitution. Constitution में दर्ज है ये, but they are not mentioned in the part 3, which is fundamental right. Means these rights are these rights and many other rights which are mentioned in the constitution in different places are called as constitutional rights. But will they be called as fundamental right? No. Fundamental rights are only those rights which are mentioned in the constitution part 3. Fundamental rights, can they be called as constitutional rights? Hanji, yes or no? Yes. Every fundamental right is a constitutional right, but every constitutional right may not be a fundamental right. ये clear है? ये बात सही है. Now, apart from these two rights, fundamental right and constitutional right, there is a third category of rights which is called as this legal rights. Legal rights means Parliament has given you some rights. However, those rights are not mentioned in Constitution. Very good. Constitution के बाहर है वो. One example of a right which is your right but not given in the Constitution. Example. Excellent. Right to information legal right है. Derived fundamental right है ना ये. जैसे कि you have right to work. It is also a legal right. ये कहाँ से आया? Who gave you this right to work? Is it coming to you? किस under which act you got right to work? नरेगा. भाई सुना है ना आपने नरेगा? अभी क्या है उसका नाम सर? मरेगा नहीं, मनरेगा. नरेगा का अब नया नाम है मनरेगा. ठीक है सर? महात्मा गांधी नेशनल रूरल एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी एक्ट. अंडर दिस लॉ which was passed by parliament, let me tell you, it is a right to work is a legal right. ये आपका right तो है, but it is not mentioned in constitution. Leave aside fundamental rights. नहीं DPS पे तो है, but then right to work, नरेगा act is a separate right or not? It is there because of DPSP, of course. ठीक है ना? Similarly, another example, as she said, right to information. You have right to information or not? But then do you feel that right to information is mentioned in constitution? नहीं, constitution के बाहर है. Any other example? Yes. Forest rights of tribal people. और एक और simple example देता हूँ, right to, यार right to education is a fundamental right now. Fundamental right बन चुका है वो. Right to food. Food Security Act बना है कि नहीं बना है? Now Food Security Act gave you a right that if you are this, ये condition अगर आप meet करते हो, you go and you ask for food at this rate as your right. वो हक है आपका. But then this act, which is Food Security Act, is it mentioned in Constitution? No. ये है legal right. 3 rights हो गए. I discussed that. There can be number of other rights, natural right, ये वो. But we are not concerned. We are concerned with polity and that too GS civil services. See this. 3 rights I discussed. पहले 2 rights, they somehow relate with each other. First is constitutional right, which are mentioned in the Constitution. Other are fundamental right, which are also mentioned in the Constitution, but they are mentioned specifically in part 3. Fundamental right में लिखा हुआ है. Third right, legal rights, they are not mentioned in Constitution, but they are a right as per the law of Parliament or any other delegated law. Delegated law क्या है ये मैं बाद में बताऊंगा आपको. Now see, what is the difference in status of these 3 laws? बोलो, what is the difference of status? Which is most sacrosanct? Why? सर फंडामेंटल राइट की स्पेशल पोजीशन क्यों है? Are they not enforceable? They are. But enforceable तो है ना यार. Difference is this: fundamental right, it has got a special place even among the constitutional rights, because if they are violated, you can go directly to Supreme Court. They are enforceable through Supreme Court. Moreover, if you want to make some law which somehow get into conflict with fundamental right, then that law will be erased ekdam se. Fundamental right have prominence over any other right or over any other article with some conditions which I'll discuss tomorrow. ठीक है ना? इसको छेड़ना बहुत मुश्किल है. To amend fundamental right or to play with it, it is very, very difficult, because there are so many other conditions which cannot be met easily. And if you change them, questions will be taken up in the court. Okay? Constitutional right, you can change them or not. Change them or not. But then if they are actually touched, you might not go directly to Supreme Court. Understood or not? Because enforceability of those rights might not be done through Supreme Court. However, fundamental rights are enforced directly through Supreme Court. Legal right, if these rights are not met, you may not go directly to Supreme Court. You might go to the lower court first, और वहां से वो उसको implement करवाएंगे. These rights can be changed very easily. इसके लिए special majority की जरूरत नहीं है. These rights can be changed with a simple majority also. However, to change these rights, special majority and special procedure is to be followed, which is given in which article? 368. इनको change कैसे करना है? It is mentioned in article 368, and it requires a special majority also. It's not easy to change them, but it is relatively far easier to change legal rights. ये भी एक बड़ा difference है. Understood? Sir, now as we proceed, you will get more clarity on this, because from today itself, I'll be starting fundamental rights only for 5 minutes, and from tomorrow full-fledgedly. Okay, so come prepared tomorrow. थोड़ा सा पढ़ के आना, so that I may not have to explain each and every word. थोड़ा खुद भी समझो. अभी पेन बंद करने का टाइम नहीं है, 5 मिनट और है. रुको, लिखो 2 वर्ड लिखो. Why the name fundamental rights? Why they are called fundamental? Fundamental. Why it is called fundamental? Why these rights are called fundamental rights? पहली बात, your aim was to, very, very alert, your aim was to establish a full democracy here, a civilized society, a just society. And if you want to have a civilized, just, democratic society, who should prosper? लोग. भाई जब लोग ही खुश नहीं होंगे तो क्या उनकी डेमोक्रेसी? तो ultimately the aim of democracy is to bring benefit to people. But how will people be happy unless they have some rights which should be respected in the most sacrosanct way? उनको respect तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना, because people cannot prosper or attain their full potential. Potential समझते हो आप? बुधिया का नाम सुना है ना आपने? He is a marathon runner. He is having a talent to run long races without getting tired. ये उसका talent है. But can he achieve his potential unless he is given some good diet? Protein तो देना पड़ेगा ना उसको. After all, he is also a human being made up of flesh. So he has a potential. But to reach that potential, he needs some training, some support. जूते भी देने पड़ेंगे उसको. मिल्खा सिंह देखिए ना आपने मूवी. Same is fundamental right. So fundamental right is like a Horlicks, Bournvita. Unless you give to people, they will not be able to reach their best. वो है वो fundamental rights. Example, right to education. बहुत बढ़िया sir. Right to education. Now I am a poor child from a very poor family. I have a talent in mathematics. Next to Ramanujan in this country. What more? That is only my potential. I have not reached that. वो मेरा talent है. Future में मैं उसको achieve कर सकता हूँ. But for that I need to go to school first or not. अब अगर मैं भजिया बनाऊंगा तो कहाँ से मैं वो करूँगा? I need to go to school, and for that I need to have some rights. That right is right to education. So that I can go to school even if I don't have money, even if my parents are stopping me, I must go to school, and that can happen only when I have right to education. And now I go to school, I achieve my potential, I became a very great mathematician. है कि नहीं है? Another example, I am the same child having huge potential for running or for any other craft, but then I am being forced into bonded labor, or you can say child labor. Trafficking हो गई. Now where will I get the time to make use of my creativity or my talent? अब तो मैं ईंट बना रहा हूँ बस. So this practice is also ended through fundamental right against exploitation. So fundamental rights will ensure that I achieve my talent. Not only me, every person in this country achieve what he can do best, because fundamental rights there provide him conditions to meet his potential. इसीलिए for the growth of everybody, fundamental requirement is provided by fundamental rights. इसलिए उसको नाम दिया गया है fundamental. And when these potentials are achieved by, अब आप सोचो, if each one of you achieve your best potential, need not only mean civil services, if each one of you achieve the best potential, then will not it bring a good name to the Indian democracy? Democracy will also prosper. Means if you want to fundamentally strengthen the democracy, you need to give what? Fundamental rights, because that will actually strengthen the component of this democracy, which is people of this country. इसलिए fundamental है. Third reason why they are called fundamental, anyone? वो तो हो गया ना, potentially you achieve the potential, so you are living a dignified life. एक reason और भी है. Fundamental right are the most basic. Fundamental का मतलब क्या है? English meaning basic. Fundamental rights are the most basic, and you cannot touch the base. उसको touch नहीं करना है. In no situation these rights will be allowed to touched. ये basic rights है. You can touch other rights. You can, even amend other rights or even repeal other rights, but you cannot repeal these fundamental rights under normal circumstances. ये तो basic rights हैं. इनको तो छेड़ना ही नहीं है. Therefore also they are called as fundamental rights. Understood? Should I tell you or it is done? दो लाइन लिख लो फिर भी. Cornerstone of Indian democracy. Fundamental rights are the cornerstone of Indian democracy, called fundamental because without them any other right, इनके बिना किसी और राइट का भी कोई मतलब नहीं है. Without petrol you can run the car. Without these rights any other right will have no meaning. Also they are fundamental in allowing an individual to achieve his potential, his full potential लिखो, to achieve his full physical, intellectual and which potential? Physical, intellectual and intellectual mentally हुआ ना, spiritual, physical, intellectual and spiritual potential or stature, whatever word, and thus establish a true democracy. Very good. Thus establish a true democracy. State cannot take away them. State cannot take away them, and any law hurting them, can be declared null and void. गलत है. It prevents the state from being authoritarian. Okay, now this is done. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we continue with this thing.